Okay. So, Karim, how often do you use paper?
Every day, probably like every half hour.
Multiple times.
Even less than that, probably like every 10 minutes or so, especially art school, right?
Okay, yeah. What if you weren't a student? Do you think you'd still be using paper as much?
Not as much. I think like even though we have like books and stuff, maybe not writing on paper and stuff. Like if I was just working full time at my job or something, you don't really use that much paper when you're working. Mm-hmm. But then more like school and academic base, you do a lot more, right?
Yeah. So what do you use paper for?
Pretty much everything. Like sketching, if I'm bored, I'll like doodle. If I need to write something down quickly, I'll do that. I'm not one of those people that like write it on your hand. Mm-hmm. I always have paper near me so I could sketch, so I could, if a random thing pops into my head, write it down, right?
Yeah. Do you think that you waste a lot of paper?
Depends on the person that's judging me about my consumption of paper.
Okay.
No, but it's like, I don't think I waste paper because I end up using that paper for like a process or something. So if someone is all like, oh, you're wasting paper because you're scribbling on it, it's like, no, but that's my actual like process and it's going to come in handy later.
So like if you were working on a project or writing notes or something and it wasn't turning out the way you wanted to, you're not one of those people that would just like scrunch it up and throw it away?
I would be one of those people that would then recopy it out on a whole nother paper, but I'd still like use that one as my template, so I wouldn't count that as wasting the paper.
Yeah.
It's more like if I draw like one little line and then I throw it away, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. This one's pretty general, but how many ways can you think of that paper is used? Like just in the world.
Ways? Thousands?
Yeah.
Like 10,000s? I don't, like so many different ways, right?
And of all those ways, how many of those are relevant to you? Like how many ways do you think you use paper in comparison to
like every different possibility?
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty much up there.
Yeah.
Like, even though our world is coming very, like, it's becoming a lot more digital and there's lots more computers and stuff like that, I'm still a definite believer of paper, and I love paper and everything that we do, from like art stuff to if it's money, to if it's a book, to posters, to like everything that you see around you. You could probably just like see 100 of them right in this room right here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, last question. So you mentioned about like how things are becoming very digital. Do you think that the world could possibly exist without paper?
I don't really want it to come to that, because I'd probably not be that happy. Like, I love the tactile quality of it and just being able to actually really like feel the paper, to like have your hand like construct something in like an artistic way, but then also like in a book, and you feel it and you feel the print and you see it. That I wouldn't like to have everything go digital. Like it can be that all of money then goes onto a debit, like it is already kind of, and then we won't have any more money. Or if it's like all books go ebooks, everything turns into electronic tablets that we won't need any of them.
Like posters would be like screens on the wall.
Like screens, exactly. Yeah. So it's like it can come to that, but I just really hate if it ever did.
Yeah.
Just because I think it'd be such a less texturized world, and there'd be a lot less. Like there'd still be creativity, but it would be a lot more. This is a pixel, than this is your actual line.
Thank you. Perfect.